Red flags and white elephants. What do you do on a first date when you figuratively find yourself in a room full of red flags and white elephants? The red flags a guy waves, bearing slogans like sketchy situation, and the white elephants you're supposed to ignore with name tags like don't ask. Do you disregard those elephants, making polite cocktail chatter with your new date? Or do you Bic-lighter those red flags, leaving the entire situation burning itself to the ground? These were my thoughts going into a blind date with a newly out 44-year-old Connecticut guy living 2 hours away by car. He was kindly offering to make me breakfast in the morning if I came up, but would I mind if his buddy came along on our date? Buddy? Buddy's such a straight guy word, I said. What do you mean by buddy? Do you guys fuck or something? He seemed taken aback by my New York City aplomb, so I softened it a bit with, what I mean to say is, what's your relationship to this guy? Are you friends, or is there a backstory I should know about? Well, he said, the fact is, he wanted to be more than friends. We fooled around and stuff on our trips together in P-Town and such, but he's HIV positive, and that makes me nervous, so now we're just best friends. He's like my only gay friend. I've just been out for 9 months. Their situation positively reeked of unrequited love, but the newbie couldn't see it, so I held my tongue. Somewhere in my head, an alarm klaxon was blaring. Add to my trepidation that he was taking me to a gay social in Stamford, Connecticut, where we would meet 200 other local fags, all of whom knew each other. Yeah, sure, I said. That sounds fine about your, buddy. I mean, what was I supposed to say? No, you freak, I'm nervous enough about meeting you and 200 other waspy Connecticut queens for what'd you call it, a social? Oh, sounds like a cross between a group hug and a disease. Instead, I joked, well, at least I can put that old prom dress to good use. Great, he said, because I looked at the train schedule from New York City, and if you get on the 210, I can pick you up at my station at... No, I said. Wait a minute. You won't have to pick me up at a train station. I'll be driving my own car. Oh, are you sure? He said, because it's so easy if you just... No. Quite sure, I said, privately equating being sequestered in the suburbs of Connecticut on someone else's schedule to being a juror in the O.J. Simpson trial. It would be different if we were in the city, where I'm forever a $10 cab ride away from freedom. But this was practically bushwhacking. Here goes another adventure, I thought, dating outside of my area code. But what to do? I tried dating the New Jersey Guido types to a disastrous end. So, I guess Connecticut wasps are the other side of the coin. Don't even talk to me about dating New York City fags. I could write a book about dating them. Oh wait, I did! But I'm trying new approaches this year. If that means driving 2 hours into New England white people country to have a date with a normal guy, then so be it. So, like an icy dip in a lake after a hot sauna, I plunged right in. As it turned out, I did have fun. My date and his buddy were both very sweet and clad in similar button-down Oxford shirts and khaki slacks and penny loafers. What luck, I joked. I'm out with twins. The social itself was a hoot, a term borrowed from a fellow socialite. It stuck with me throughout the evening. When asked by my date if I was enjoying myself, I said, having a hoot. I talked with tons of like-minded people, not like-minded to me, but like to each other, and I got treated like fresh meat, which is always a hoot. My date was very handsome, in fact, about 10 years older than his pics, which of course is in keeping with what I would expect from a normal guy. Besides, I prefer silver to blonde anyway. We laughed a lot, and I was charming and social with all of his friends, and everything seemed promising until it was time for bed, and the sleeping arrangements became a little complicated. It began with me having to stake my claim about sharing the master bedroom with my date, as Buddy had his overnight bag blocking the doorway. Evidently, they were used to sharing beds on their trips to P-Town, and Buddy was considering this to be a trip too. Well, a trip it was becoming for me too. In fact, I wasn't about to share a penny loafer sandwich out of the deal. Nor was I going to sleep alone in the guest room with a white elephant. Oh, is this his room? I said, throwing my bag on the queen-size bed with a hand-quilted spread. Well, I guess I know where I'll be sleeping. How about you, Buddy? Buddy took his bag to the guest room. When my date finished preparing the mushroom quiche to bake in the morning and sprinkling just the right amount of Splenda over the fresh-cut fruit for the yogurt parfaits, and fastidiously cleaning the kitchen, and setting the table with 3 settings, putting a Sunday Times at his place and a GQ at Buddy's place, and a guest book at mine for me to sign in the morning, he finally came to bed. Are you sure you don't want to do a little vacuuming before we go to bed? I think there's some dust bunnies under there. Oh no, he said, I'll do the vacuuming in the morning. Oh, you're kidding, tee-hee-hee-hee-hee, he twittered. Now let's just get right to bed, he said. It's so late, it's so late. Yes, let's get right to bed. We'll go right to sleep. Yeah, well, I got your snooze button right here, baby. Except I said it in wasp speak so we could get it. He laughed as if sex was not even to be considered at such an hour. And I had to content myself with spooning him with my naked body all night with his flannel pajamas. There was always morning wood to be considered, I thought, but the morning came and we did not. Great quiche, though. However, his parfait was too sweet in that aspartame kind of way, much like my date's personality. On my sexually frustrated 2-hour drive home, I got to thinking, had I paid more attention to those red flags, his slogan might have said, "Inexperienced conservative, right this way." Even in our initial emails, I could tell. Why didn't I address those 2 white elephants in the room, quietly discussing their next trip to P-Town? Over breakfast, it was obvious that I was the third wheel. My date and his buddy were in love, and they were already playing the role of the old married couple that doesn't have sex anymore. I hope they could work out their serodiscordant issues, because a cuter pair of Claras I'd never seen. Aside from not getting laid, I did have a memorable evening. It was fun. I met people I never would have in social settings I've never been to, and, unless they see this blog, I made some new friends in the process. So, Dating Bradford wants to know, how much attention should we pay to those red flags and white elephants? Do we stay in our comfort zones and avoid taking chances, or do we plunge into that icy lake and see how it makes us feel? You tell me.